See him a beast when you hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when you hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like yeah, me, I'm a G-Ring, he in the sound like
Mike Owens here. Today I'm joined by Connor Hughes, who returns to action 8th of July, making his PFL debut against Dylan Tuke. Connor, great to sit down and chat, my friend. How are things with you today?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Look, it's a bit of a change. You're going into a tournament setup for the first time in your career. What was give me your first reaction when PFL came to you and not only give you the offer to fight on their promotion, but also to fight in this European tournament?
Obviously, lad, obviously blown away, you know what I mean? I actually mentioned PFL to my manager when I first spoke to him, and that was kind of the path I wanted to go down anyway. So that when we heard that he was keen, you know, at first he was going to put me down as into the Challenger Series. But then he actually came back about 2 weeks later and was like, no, we want to put him in the tournament. So the fact that, like, you know, they were already wanting me to get into PFL, but then had another look, came back and thought, nah, we want to put him in the tournament first. Big deal for me, lad, you know what I mean? Obviously, big deal for any fighter, I think.
100%. Does it feel like the right time to make this step up? I mean, I think if the offer came, you would obviously take it, but does it feel like the right time to move into one of these bigger promotions?
I think so, lad. You know, I think my amateur career, I've done a lot of, you know, a lot of learning, like collecting a lot of experience and fighting the best I could. And since turning pro, I think you've seen like the lessons that I've learned, and I think you've seen a massive difference in my performances and how much I improve every fight and stuff. So, as you know, me and my team, my manager, we all think we're ready for that step, and I'm excited. I'm excited to show. I think you're going to see another improvement again, even from the last fight in March. So I think I'm ready, lad. Well, I know I'm ready. 1 week, lad, I get to show it.
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about your opponent, Dylan Tuke. Give me your scout report. What do you see on him? What does he do well, and where do you think are areas you can potentially exploit?
I think he's got a good back game, a good jiu-jitsu game. You know, he's came from 2 solid gyms. He's got that long, limby body type style, you know what I mean, which poses threats in other areas as well. And he's experienced, you know, he's fought on big shows. This is my first time on a big show. He's fought on Bellator and BAME. So, you know, he's got a bit of experience. He's been a pro since 2016. But to be honest, like, you know, he's been a pro since 2016. I've not been a pro for 2 years, and he's only got one more fight than me. So, you know, if you look at my fights and his fights over the last 3 years, he's fought like twice. I've fought 11 times in like 3 years. So he's got threats, you know. He's a threat in some areas, like everybody is. But I definitely think I've got the tools. I feel I've got the striking advantage. I feel I've got the wrestling advantage. I don't feel out of my depth here. I don't think that I cannot grapple with Dylan Tuke. I think I can fully grapple with him and cause him problems as well. But the way I see it is, I take control of this fight from the get-go, and I feel the minute I start picking shots off at him and I find my timing, I think that's going to be the beginning of the end.
Talked a little bit about your opponent there, but for anyone who's watching this who maybe hasn't watched you before, first of all, you're missing out. But second of all, let's give you a little bit of an opportunity to explain who you are, what you do, what you think your style primarily is.
You know, obviously I come from a striking background. I think you know, I'll always be a striker at heart. But I think over the last, well, since turning pro, you saw that my game's evolving, and you know, I've got 5 submissions on me 7-0 record. So I'm forever evolving. The main thing for me is I think every fight you can see that I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not sitting here now going, you know, I'm perfect. I'm no way near the final the final product of what I can be. I feel like this step up right now is perfect because I was mate, the amount of pullouts I got on the regional scene was ridiculous. Like it was unreal. Every single fighter in the UK turned me down. Every fighter across Europe turned me down. I wanted the big fights. I wanted all the top prospects. So I definitely think it was time for me to step up because one, nobody wanted it, and two, I took out everybody who I fought. So um, you can see I'm getting better everywhere, and I think that's what should be the worrying thing for people against me, to be honest, because I don't think you can go off like Tuke's obviously going off my last fight now, but I feel I'm a complete different fighter, 10 times better. Like I feel like I would be me in my last fight in the first round now. So I think that's a major thing. Is I'm forever evolving, but I'm dangerous, lad. I've got time and that not a lot of people have, and I've got precision that not a lot of people have, and I have the ability to read shots and read movements quite quickly. So I'm fast, I'm powerful, and I'm forever learning.
You mentioned there about evolution. It was kind of one of the next topics I wanted to get into because all being well this year, and I'm sure as you think in your mind, you'll be fighting July, end of September, and then first week of December in Dublin. It's quite a short turnaround, especially with this step up in competition that we're talking about. With that being said, and we're obviously having to maintain your body for those fights on that timeline, have you prepared any differently for this fight, or are you just going in business as usual?
See, for this one was probably one of the longest times I've had out, to be honest, in between fights since turning pro. So I've actually had a little bit of a break here. It's been different because I've had time to kind of just focus on getting better for a little bit, as opposed to just jumping into fight camp. You know what I mean? So I've actually had time to improve outside of this, but you know, I think it's not going to be anything new to me, really. I don't think it's
is
going to
that
be.
maybe a benefit of coming off the regional scene, that's kind of the mentality that you fight every couple of months, that you're kind of on that regional scene timeline?
Yeah, I do that anyway. It's not new to me. Like I fight quite frequently, and yeah, I don't think it's going to cause me any problems, to be honest. Obviously, the fight between Paris and December is a lot closer than this one. I think it's 12 weeks between this one and Paris, and then 10 between Paris and Dublin. So obviously that one's going to be harder, but not new to me, lad. I've been active ever since I've started.
Have you had the chance to look at the other people in the bracket, the other fighters in the bracket, and if so, is the one that you pick out as a potential main threat you could see in that final in Dublin?
I mean, at first I thought I was fighting the Latvian guy Chizov because of how the fight poster got released. But I've had little looks. I've not been, since I've known about Tuke, I've not really bothered about anything, to be honest. I saw that the bracket got released yesterday. So I obviously know which fight it's between. I'm going to be against in Paris. But lad, blinkers on Tuke. Like, that's nothing to me. They've got to fight it out first, and then I'll see who I take out next. But right now, it's just full focus on Tuke and making a statement.
Understandably so. Which means more to you going in? Because obviously, as we mentioned, it's a step up in prestige. You're now on a bigger promotion. Which means more for Dublin, winning the $100,000 or winning the tournament? Which one means more, the money or the glory?
The glory is definitely, at the end of the day, I've always wanted legacy in this. I've always wanted to go down as one of the best to ever do it. And, I win this, lad, and I'm the first ever PFL Europe lightweight champion.
Yeah.
I'm the first ever PFL Europe champion from Liverpool. Like, it's history. You know what I mean, for
Yeah.
PFL Europe. So that's a big deal to me. But at the same time, it is prize fighting at the end of the day, and I have give my life and soul into this sport that, you know, I've got the opportunity to now to change my life around financially. So I mean, they're both important, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I want both, lad. I want money and I want legacy. So, you know,
If you had to give it on a
but
percentage, like say out of a percentage, would you give it 50-50? Would you give 160-40? The way, where do you think you roughly are?
I'd give 60-40 to probably legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I've dreamed about being one of the best and since I was a kid. So
And understand, and in a way, I was having a little look at how much promotion PFL have put into kind of the 5 Brits on these PFLs,
yeah,
probably 6 Brits if you include Lewis, but yourself, Simeon, Dakota, Don Wooden, who's unfortunately just been announced he's had to pull out, but Don Wooden,
gutted.
likewise, and Sammy Joe. Do you think with the promotion the PFL are putting into kind of U5 and obviously Lewis McGrillen as well, do you think PFL want the Brits to win the European tournament?
Yeah, I think they're recognising, you know, how big UK MMA is getting, and you know it has been a rise over the years, especially lately. Um, so I think they are seeing that, and you know they've got Dan Hardy in, you know what I mean? He's scouting talent, and he knows UK MMA as good as anyone. So um, don't get me wrong, I don't think that the being like that they've got favoritism over fighters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I do think, yeah, I do think they're recognising that, you know, UK MMA is growing and there's serious talent coming out of it.
I think that our city, Liverpool, is probably the hotbed for combat
100%,
sports
lad.
in both
100%.
martial arts and boxing. I don't think even London, based upon the population, has a roster of fighters the
Yeah,
way we do. Is there a
lad.
particular person or a particular story that you took inspiration from, whether it be past or present, that you look at and go, I want to follow in their footsteps?
Um, you know what? Like, I obviously grew up around my mum and my uncle fighting. Um, you know, they were kind of my inspirations, to be honest, because that was, as a kid, that was literally my life, and I didn't really. I was quite a as a kid. I played around with stuff and used my imagination, not like any kid really. But I never really. I'm not a big TV guy. You know what I mean? I don't really have like superheroes and all that type of stuff. And
Mm.
I took a lot of inspiration from my mum and David. I, you know what? Just people who work hard. Like Ali was a big one for me. Mike Tyson was a big one for me. Just absolute killers in what he did and what he stood for and how hard he worked and just like what separated them from the rest. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I take inspiration from. Um, I was a massive Anderson Silva fan when I first like proper got into watching MMA and stuff, but I kind of just took inspiration from my family, really. To
Yeah.
be honest, it was quite active. You know, we were competing every weekend, so
Understandable. Last one from me, Connor. I know you're a busy man. You can take this question as brief or as detailed as you would like, but this will be quite a unique fight day for you. You'll be obviously waking up in a foreign country. I don't know if you've done
yeah.
that before, but it's the last time you did it. I'd like you to give me a walkthrough of what the perfect fight day looks like. So what happens from when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night?
Get up in the morning, have a little stretch off, always on fight day. Good breakfast. Um, and then to be honest, lad, I usually, obviously this is, like you said, this is going to be a bit different because I'm in a foreign country and stuff, but I usually just have a little walk around um, with my girlfriend and just kind of take the day in, to be honest. Just kind of feel what's going on and just take it all in. And then again, just making sure I'm there mentally and I'm present and I'm fully focused on what I've got to do, not letting any emotions get too high or too low or anything, but and then perfect fight day, mate. Get in there, get warm, get loose, enjoy the moments, and get it finished. Put on a performance and then enjoy that moment again with friends and family, and you know the thing of I've done it here, and you know that's what I look forward to, and I can't wait, lad. It's gonna be a game changer.
Sure it is, mate. Look, thank you for your time today. It was really great to catch up, and I'm over the moon to see you in this position, see you on the cusp of something
Thank
really,
you,
really
mate. I
big and
appreciate
a
that.
massive step up in your career. So enjoy the rest of your week, safe travels, and best of luck for fight night.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you soon.